Alright, this is Chris with Aerotech. Today I'm going to walk you through how to print on thicker paper like cardstock, and also how to print on odd size pages. So the machine will have a set amount of standard sizes already pre-programmed, your 8.5 by 11, 5.5 by 8.5, 11 by 17. But sometimes clients want to print on odd size stocks. So I'm going to walk you through on how to program those sizes in the machine as well as on your Mac. I'll start the video, we'll set the settings on the machine, and then we'll go through and do them on the Mac. You got to do both. So however you configure your printer, then you have to match the settings on the Mac side as well. If not, you'll get conflicts, and it either will just give you a message that it's not going to print and there's no matching paper, or it will just come out incorrectly. So I'm going to walk you through that, and we'll get started on the copier side first. Alright, I'm going to show you how to set the machine side for our thick setting as well as the custom size, since we're running an odd size paper here. To do that, we're going to lower down our bypass tray here. I'm just kind of grabbing the corner and pull down for you. And grab your paper stock. You're going to drop it in here. Drop it in so the longer direction is going to run left to right. And just align your side guides here so I'm all the way against the edge. When you do that, we're going to come back to the machine, and we're going to click on where it says paper. The bypass tray is going to be this tray off to the right. Touch on that, and we're going to click on change tray settings. For the bypass tray, we're going to run this job on thick 2. A lot of times it's going to be set to plain paper by default. We're going to set it to thick 2 though for this particular job, and we're going to come over to custom size. So click on custom size. I've got this size already programmed in there. You'll see under memory 1, but I'll show you how to make a new one. So for instance, we're going to touch on memory 2, and we're going to come over here and we're going to program this. So we're going to set this to 5.5, and you just kind of use your little subtraction symbol there to get down to 5. And we're going to change the bottom to 4.25. So to do that, you can arrow over. We're going to change it to 4. Well, then we're going to arrow over here, and we're going to change that down to 1/4. So once you've got your size set correctly, you can click New, and it's going to add it to the next available slot. And if you want to change that, or to name it, just click on down here where it says Edit Name, and we're just going to call this Demo. So we're going to clear this out, and we'll type in Demo, and say OK. And now to use those settings, you have to click Recall. That's going to actually choose those custom size settings. So once that's set, you can click close and close. Your state's going to show that proper size in the machine now. So now we're good here. We're going to go back and we're going to do the rest from the computer side. Alright, so now that we have the machine set for our program size, we've got it programmed 5.5 by 4.25 is what we're using as an example. We're running it on the thick 2 setting. So what we'll do now is we'll just do a text document as a test. So we're going to open this up. I've already got one that says testing. So what you're going to do is you got to create the page size if it's not already done for you. If you're already using the template that the page size is already set, then great. This will walk you through if you haven't done that. So what you'll do, and it's a good way to double check it. Have your document open here. You're going to go to File and Print, and we're going to choose the Konica driver. This one right here is the one we're going to use as an example today. If you see this screen where you don't see all the settings, we'll set this to default. Click on Show Details. Once you click on that, this is going to give you all the options here. You'll see paper size. This has the standard sizes in here. The copier supports most of these, but we just programmed the custom size in there, so we're going to walk you through on how to choose that. Text Edit, that's the name of the application we're working in. If you're in Safari or Word, should show that. But this gives you all the machine settings here. For instance, under Paper Tray, you'll see which paper tray you can choose as well as your thick settings. First, we're going to start though. We're going to choose, we're going to go back to Text Edit. We're going to start with paper size. So click on this drop down, scroll all the way to the bottom, you're going to see Manage Custom Sizes. You're going to click on this. You see I've got one programmed in here for a client already. We're going to make a new one. So we're going to, again, set this up for 5.5 by 4.25. So what we'll do is we're going to click on the addition up here in paper size. So we're going to have the width of this size is going to be 5.5, so 5.5, and the height is going to be 4.25, so 4.25. You're going to OK that, and then, oops, actually, what you'll want to do is you can name that. So if you come back to Manage Custom Sizes, click on Untitled. Here's the one that we just created. You can double click or right click and rename, and we're just going to call this Demo for now. And then so that's set. So we've got our paper size set. We've programmed this in the machine, and we've also set up our document for that specific size. So we're going to OK that, and you'll see over here the little image that you get of your document. Should show that paper size, and it says right in the middle here, paper size. So we've set the size. Now we got to tell it which tray we're using and the thick setting that we're using. So to do that, you're going to click on this drop down. Oops, I'm sorry, where it says text edit. You're going to click on this drop down. You're going to choose paper tray / output tray. Drop down paper tray from auto, and you're going to choose, we're using the bypass tray. When you do that, when you choose the tray specifically, it kind of grays out the paper types, which is fine. You're going to click on here where it says paper settings for each tray. Come down the bypass tray. You can click reflect device status. I find it takes a while. That will just, however the machine's configured, it'll grab those settings. But like I said, it takes a while. So I just come and manually choose bypass tray and set it. We're using thick 2 today. So then we're going to say OK. You can come in here now, change your other settings. So for your paper tray, you'll see quality. You can switch it from auto color to grayscale. Under the layout, you can switch it from 2-sided to 1-sided. Those are the 2 most common settings that I see clients wanting to change. Once you're done, you're set now. You can just click enter. There's a print button down here at the bottom. I can't see it. It's kind of being hidden. But if you just click enter on your keyboard, it'll send that job. And then you're set. It'll print out correctly. Actually, let's see. If you click on, if you click enter, it doesn't work. Just click on this drop down to text edit. It makes the window smaller. You can click print here. But that's it. I know it seems like a lot of steps. That's how all the machines are, though. When you deal with these high-speed printers, you have to manually specify the thick settings. It's going to slow the machine down so it can print on that thicker paper. It's going to allow it to fuse the toner to the thicker paper. If you don't do that correctly, the image can wipe off the paper when it prints. So you just want to make sure this is set up correctly. If so, it should print out without giving you any sort of errors of no matching paper size, and the toner should fuse to the paper properly. Let me know if you have any trouble. Thank you so much. Also, I wanted to share with you, when I did the test, I did run into an issue where it was giving me a conflict. It can be a tad bit confusing sometimes with how it lays it out versus width and length and width and height. So for instance, on the machine, I had it set by 4.25 and 5.5. When I had it set on this setting, the 5.5 versus the 4.25, it would not print. But when I had it set the opposite, 4.25 by 5.5, it worked. So you may have to play with it depending on what orientation you're running. For example, you'll see you can run it in portrait or landscape. So if you set it up correctly as we walk through and you still don't get it to print correctly, just try the opposite. Just come down to custom sizes, whichever one you were setting it for, the 4.25 and the 5.5. If that's what you're using, make another one and just do the opposite. So where you switch the width and the height, and one of those will work. And like I said, you'll just play with the portrait or the landscape to figure out which direction you need it. And then once you figure out the right combination, you can either delete the other paper size that you don't need, or you can keep it because you may find you have to run it in a different orientation depending on how you want to print on that particular job.